To the west, in the great loop of the mighty Yellow River, the arid Ordos Desert serves as a less than secure buffer from the troublesome nomads of the northern waste. Our clever ruler, Xuan Wang, has devised a simple plan. Outposts shall be established in the Ordos region. These shall serve both to warn of barbarian incursions and to exploit the area's resources. Though the land is dry, it is not barren. Deposits of salt and copper are present, if not plentiful. Smelt the copper to bronze and fashion weapons. Wood is scarce and must be imported, but that is understandable given the conditions. Using irrigation, your farmer should be able to grow enough millet and hunters catch enough game to feed the population. Settlers venturing into the desert should watch for predators. Scouts report that fearsome bears have ventured south from their home in the Gobi. They are not to be trifled with. One last thing. The king can spare one company of charioteers or one of infantry, but not both. Choose wisely.
Welcome back to Emperor Rise of the Middle Kingdom. I have to admit that these briefings they give, I kind of enjoy the bit of propagandish element they have. Our clever ruler, Xuan Wang. They never say our incompetent ruler or our useless, pathetic ruler. There's always that little tinge of positivity that's perhaps a bit excessive. Now, we have population goal, pretty large population. We need to produce weapons and 1,500 people in elegant dwelling or better. This scenario definitely looks the part of having us on a forsaken frontier, and also with some limitations we have. We've got sand, we've got cliffs, we've got rocks, we've got salt up here to the northwest. There is this strip, of course, of a stream and some good green grass growing beside it. Even some trees up here, although it won't let us log any. But other than that, it's not great. Road coming in this way, and then up here in the north, we have a couple species of animals. Saga antelope will be our game meat that we will hunt. And then we have the Gobi bears, who deserve a bit of commentary, aside from the highly annoying sound that the game ascribes to them. And that is that they're a bit misrepresented here. Because, in actuality, everything I know that we've discovered about the Gobi bears is they really don't hunt anything larger than rodents. They're a fairly small species of bear, well adapted to living in hotter climates, but as far as being the threat that they will be in this mission to humans or other large mammals, no, not really. And in actuality, they are very close to potentially dying out, a highly endangered species. There's probably no more than about 25, 30 of them at the most that are left alive, and they're spread out enough. Conditions are getting worse for them because of mining and other climate-related changes that they could very well not even exist anymore and just be a memory within a few decades, unfortunately. Now, in terms of what we can actually do here, no elite housing plays into the whole idea that they said we do not get more than one fort because we can have an administrative city but no palace. We also do not get acrobatics, although the music school here is possible, so we can't go all the way up to the ornate apartments level. We'll have to stick with elegant housing because ornate apartments require acrobatics. So definitely a limitation on how far we can scale up compared to what we're used to. Then we can farm. We've got the irrigation. We'll be learning about that. That's our new feature, if you will, for the mission. Hunter's tent to hunt the antelope. And then we have millet and hemp only, so there aren't that many crops for us to produce. And I actually kind of disagree with the briefing. We're going to want to import some crops rather than growing it all ourselves. Industry, some more options there. We've got the clay pit, we've got kiln and bronzeware maker. So the bronze smelter there, we can work with bronze. We have the jade carver studio and salt. In the broader picture, we can see that we're, again, right here on the frontier, edge of the Ordos Desert. Northern Waste they reference are up here. Nomad camps, etc. It's sort of their generic representation of any northwestern barbarian type of groups in the game. And China, of course, is a very large country with a very diverse geographical area, but we've had food and trees pretty much aplenty wherever we've gone. And since that's no longer going to be the case here, it presents some unique challenges. I want to look at the history a bit at this stage as well, because we have February of 823 BCE. That's almost exactly 2 centuries past our last adventure in Anyi. And much has changed. We are now near the end of the Western Shou dynasty. In fact, our current King Xuan is the second to last king of the 12 of the Western Shou. But much has changed. Even going back a little bit before Anyi, in the first years after the Shou dynasty was formed and took over from the Shang, the king at the time died after 2 or 3 years, and there was what's known as the Three Guards Rebellion. And you can see that map here is very chaotic, the different states and who's loyal to who, and that's sort of the point, because at least it started to some degree in the Shang dynasty, and we're not really sure the history before that. We're at a period of time where the history isn't that sound until actually right up about the time that we're currently in. Sima Qian, the China's historian, wrote that basically 841 BC, before that, a lot of the dates are uncertain. But the key point is the pattern of decentralization that at some point began to happen and definitely wasn't evidenced during the Shou period. At the start of the Western Shou dynasty, the vassals or the nobles in control of the various regions or states were people who were part of the Shou royal family, or people who were really prominent in the military during the rebellion against the Shang. But those ties to royal power began to lessen over time. Much like when we were talking about Egypt, the nomarchs and their provincial decline going into the first intermediate period, very much a similar idea coming on here. So we're not talking about a period of stable leadership on high from the Shou in a centralized government. That really isn't a thing that ever existed. It's just relative degrees of control, and the king that we're covering in this particular session, King Xuan, he spent a lot of time fighting, and as much of it internal as external, solving different succession crises in the various states within the realm. So it's very much just a holding things together in a loose confederation type of environment. The setup here in Yulin begins with 2 housing blocks. Can possibly do it with 1. We've got 2 with this adjoining residential wall there. 1 would just be really big and hard to manage. So we have the emissaries flowing out and people coming in pretty close to their entrance through the roadways and these gates. And I've tucked in the corners here to improve the desirability, getting the residential walls a bit closer. Also have grand ways on both ends here to try to stay away from the issue we were having in the last scenario with not having the houses improve as quickly as we would like. And then Hao becomes our ally. Going to be a very crucial, important relationship for this scenario. We have the water fountains on this end because the water table stops not too far away from here. But interestingly enough, even in the desert area down here, the gardens are lush and green and beautiful. They simply don't care. We can build them in a wasteland, and they're just fine with that. So we've got, enough people here. We'll hop on our inspector's towers. And then we have a couple of hunters' tents here. The antelope are kind of traipsing around this way, but we'll get to them eventually. Up here, we have farming. 1 of hemp, which will wait a year because we're going to be under some pressure to get some things going pretty quickly this year. And then 1 of millet. More than 1 farm of millet, given that we only have 1 crop we can grow, would really not really help. Just would imbalance our food supply. We'd have way too much millet compared to everything else. And then we have this irrigation pump. So this costs 15 to place. Not too bad. But the key cost of it is the 10 workers we need to operate it. That's a bit of a tax on our building up. And has to be having road access and also access to the irrigation ditch. So we can see the 2 guys there stepping away, pumping the water in. And then once this fills up, of course, just carries through any ditches that are contiguous. I like the little bridges they have across. And when this is filled, it costs 6 per square of ditch. So that part does take some cost to set up. But we get the irrigation effect, increased crop yields within 5 tiles of this. So having it on both sides means that it can reach all the way into the middle from each side, and the farm will be fully covered. trade agreements. Some yes, some no. But we have plenty of trade partners, 5 to start, and we will not need even quite all of those. Then let's see, let's get you activated. If we look at the water table here, you can see up in this area, without the irrigation, we would be in some very serious trouble. So we're going to not have that situation. Whoop. There we go. Then we're going to want to move on to some more fun. Oh, we have an emissary from How, and what do they have to say? They want to give us 10 bushels of wheat, which we really don't have anywhere to put yet, so we'll get that set up really quick. If we postpone this, we can postpone it up to twice, but the third time they would go away and salt it, and we need to keep, again, this relationship intact, so we'll do this relatively quickly. Let's get our hunter's tent rolling. And Spectre's Tower here. Let's bring this road along. And then we'll want a market square. Road there, and this is where we'll put our mill, and then we'll be able to accept the wheat. Now, I do want to notice that I was wrong in the last scenario about how salt works. It is not just another food staple that adds to your supply. It improves only quality. It does not actually improve the amount of food that you have, so it works very realistically as a seasoning, and it's a much better mechanic than I thought it was. So, it also doesn't get a lot of it consumed, so I'm going to bring this down to 4 instead of storing a whole bunch of salt like I did last time, because you just don't need very much of it to have that effect. On the other hand, that does mean we're down to just game meat and millet that we can produce. So we're going to get our wheat coming in when they give that to us as well. Yep, still lots of labor. Food shop, you can go in. Next up is our ancestral shrines. And there's our wheat. So that has been taken care of, and that's very much appreciated in getting our food off to a good start here. Now we'll want to set up trade next with, you guessed it, How, our key ally. And the main reason this matters is we want wood, as much of it as we can get in, as quickly as we can get it. And this is both for building up our military and also for government, taxes, etc. So if we can get the full set of 12 in the first year, then we can get more wood coming in the second year and get off to a pretty good start. As this is our only source of wood that is really going to be possible in this scenario. Alright, let's get our watchtowers going. Head off any unrest issues, as we're getting close to the 350 threshold when muggers start to come out. And you know what? Let's not let that happen. And then we're going to extend this up here. Ah, the nomad camps are unhappy with us. And this is a key point as to why I'm pushing towards the military. We want chariot fort, not infantry, to deal with the nomads. Because if they attack, and it's uncertain whether they will or not, their horsemen, one infantry fort is not going to cut it. But if we get our chariots, plus we rely on our ally and How to give us some aid as well, then we would be able to defeat them. Really the only way that I've been able to figure out to possibly do that. And also, if we were to try the diplomatic route, well, I wasn't able to get... that's not where I wanted that road, or that roadblock, but I wouldn't be able to really do anything diplomatically. They just rejected my emissaries and sent them away without even letting them enter the city and talk to them. So it's pretty much just a will they attack thing. And if they do, it can be as early as midway through the second year. So we'll need some bronze here for weapons to go along with the wood, and that will get our chariot scenario going. So I'm going to block this off here, and then we'll get an inspector's tower here. And we need a little bit more labor, I think. Yep. And then we have our bronze smelter up. Excellent. So I next want to get another one here. Another hunter's tent. Just get as much of that coming in as we can. And we're up to our plain cottages, which we can't go beyond that without getting hemp, so nothing more we can do really to grow that until the next year. Let's try to make the most of the people we're going to have. And are they still coming in? They certainly are. Let's get a warehouse. Yay. And I also want a watchtower over here. And this is just in combination with the hunters for now to deal with any bears that might attack. What will happen is hunters will come out here, bears will follow them down, they'll rampage. And so having this through here, it might irritate the people, having that much going on with having this many watchtowers for a fairly low population. But I'm going to accept that as a necessary consequence of trying to keep everything secure. Then we're going to want some hemp, and we're eventually going to want ceramics at least. Maybe some other things. But for now, we'll just store a bit of wood there. Okay, I want to next move on to our herbalist stalls. So that everything is set in our city. And then I think government and taxing is going to be next, but this is already operating. Where are we at? Yeah, let's get a weaponsmith rolling. So at least start producing some of those, and if you have any extras, just go ahead and store them over there for now. Then we'll work on government. And yep, we just got our first bronze come out, so I don't want to waste any time. I want to be able to keep this process going as quickly as possible. And we need some more people to continue coming in so that we have enough. Once we get to that level, we're going to hop on over here for our administrative city, especially if you would be so kind as to move out of the way. That would be great. There you go. And inspector there. Helps if you put the roadblock on the actual road. And then tax office. We have plenty of people yet, as they have continued joining. So that will help us with our cash flow scenario. Now let's get our chariot fort going up here. And that pretty much does it for our initial build of, okay, these things have to get up quickly. Here we go. This is exactly why we're doing this. You're heading that way. Okay, you're going to munch on our inspector. Here's our guard down this way. And now we've got some hunters shooting at you. And they were killed. But eventually, enough of them will knock them out. But you're at least moving back this way. Okay. Anyway, where are we at with our... Yeah, we have lots of people. So, we can do another weaponsmith. And we're going to need to build 10 of these in a year for one of our goals, so we'll need 2 weaponsmiths anyway. And then I want to sell the surplus eventually. Not yet. You can't do it yet, but eventually I will want to do that. And there's only one person, they finally killed the bear. One trading partner that we can sell to, which I believe is Pingyang. Let me make sure that I'm going to the right one. Yep. Okay. So, you're going to be here, and we're going to sell weapons to you. Now, also, since we're getting hemp up pretty soon, I want to start buying more food, adding in wheat this year, so that we can make sure we have a sufficient supply. And then let's get our hemp shop. Let's get our hemp farm rolling, making sure that I do that first so that all of my labor is accounted for. So we're going to sell weapons eventually to get some income. We have a little less than 2,000. Now I want to work on something that's going to get us, for the immediate purpose, in a situation where we can do some homage offerings. So we're going to roadblock here. And we're going to build out this way. See a clay pit there. Inspector there. And we'll work this around. Then I'm also going to put up a kiln, but I don't think we can afford to operate it just yet, so you're going to not have people working there. Yeah, you can see where our labor is, and we don't have any more coming in, so pretty much stuck on what we can do. I'm going to alternate between the clay pit and the kiln for this period, but I think we've gotten lucky with the nomad camps, because they haven't declared anything yet. It says they're still hostile. Okay. So they have not warmed up to us yet, they're just kind of not deciding, I guess, whether they're going to attack us or not. Ah, and we've converted a spy. We can see our supplies, we continue buying them, and then they continue to be eating into our cash. We're not selling anything yet because we're still producing all of our weapons over here to the fort. On the other hand, we have one chariot and a second on the way, so that is working. And even if the nomads don't attack us, the chariots are still going to be useful because we'll just use them to fight off the bears. So they basically have a dual purpose in the approach that I'm taking. Decent group there. We can move up to plain food here, I think. And okay, we have this clay going, so let's switch you around and go to work. And you are definitely not happy with us, but we are still in that grace period. We just need to try to get these ceramics going as quickly as reasonably we can. And then we've bought most of this, so we're going to have more coming in, but not a huge amount. Let's, in fact, drop down this wood to 4. Because we'll only need a little bit in at a time. How are we doing on our wood supply over here? Yeah, that's good. And presumably our tax offices are good as well. You've got a whole bunch. And so do you. Okay, so that initial influx that we needed to pay for, that is all there. Hello. Okay, well, chariot, come down here. Yeah, definitely come down here, because that guy is going to cause problems. Here comes our soldier back the other way as well. And the hunters are going after... Okay. Chariots ended up not being needed. Still good to bring them down. Now, I'm going to position my chariots over here. And that also means that I don't need this watchtower anymore. Because the chariots are basically going to take over what they were doing. Okay, here comes the invasion 6 months from now. So immediately, we'll talk to our allies and say, come help, please. So that could be an interesting scenario. You are... Okay, you're about to finish your first. And of course, we'll continue building chariots. We are almost done with our third one. Might be able to get all 4 by the time they arrive, and if that happens, I would be very happy. Even if it's shortly after they arrive. Meanwhile, we're getting close to hemp harvest time, which will allow us to move into the next phase of our city. So we're kind of going to be doing both of those things at once. But at least they waited a little bit longer than they could have. They could have arrived already by now for that attack, so... And there's our third chariot. Have we sold anything here yet? We have not sold any weapons yet. But final chariot of the 4 now under construction. How are you doing? You're almost finished. So as soon as you are, we'll want to switch back to clay. And there we go. We have our troops. Let's go check them out. Okay, you can come up this way. So we've got a few chariots. Looks like 3 of them there. And a couple of infantry guys. Alright, yeah, you're done. So, switch this back. Play operate again. And in comes some hemp. So this is all going to start up before too much longer, but we have 3 months to the attack, which of course is our critical bit. And yeah, you're going to start harvesting the millet now. Starting to stockpile weapons over here, so we'll start to have some more money coming in, which we're under 1,000 now. But that will help us out. Ceramics. Yeah, we just got the 2. Okay, you can stop. And you can start up again. 2 months. We're just kind of in a holding pattern here. A little under half of our eventual goal for population. But we are going to begin now, and we're only going to boost up the 1 tier for our housing, especially while we're waiting for this attack to come and resolve itself. Oh, did you bring weapons over there? Did I not turn that off? Yeah, I did not. I do not want that on. There we go. Bring the weapons over here. Sell them. We do have a very slight profit. But we need to trade to boost that higher. And you're getting close. They bought up our weapons. We've got a little more cash now. Feeling better about ourselves. And, okay, now we have some unemployment situation. So, expanding. Let's, first of all, have clay going all the time. And then a kiln here. And you know what? That's all we're going to do for now. Because we're going to concentrate on this battle, and then we'll deal with whatever happens after that. So, where are they coming? Okay, they're coming way up here by the salt. I think I want to try to come up here and defend our fort. Year 2 has ended, and it's time to see what's going to happen here. So, okay. Let's get out this way. And you get out this way. And you as well. The Resolute Rats. What a name. And you are coming more or less straight at us. Let's move slightly over this way. Yep, here we go. See how this plays out. Some of them bypassing us. We're going to leave them for now and just fight everybody who's here. Looks like they knocked out our infantry. Well, we're taking some hits for sure. Okay. Where is everybody else? They came down here and caused a disaster, quite obviously. So we have a situation to deal with for sure. Let's... Okay, there's somebody down here. We can continue building here. Okay, they have now run away. So we did defeat them. First thing, only one of their chariots survived. We're going to be courteous and send them back immediately. What do we have? We have 2 chariots left, so we need to rebuild 2 of them. Okay. You can come back over here. And then we need to deal with this, because our food supply all burned down. We are going to buy cabbage as another food source. Continue buying our wheat. And we can sell these weapons, so that would be good. That'll get us some more income in. We need to buy all this stuff. And please, everybody, put the fire out. And this is going to take some time to recover from. We're almost certainly going to lose some population here. Okay, could you put out more of the fire, please? Is that a thing you're willing to do? No? There we go. Well, you tried. Okay, let's at least get this mill going. Because we're going to lose people. Reset all of our previous levels. No, not that. And the cabbage as well. Okay. Well, that's gone. Alright. So yes, we're out of food. First of all, we're going to say grab as much food as you're able. Another food shop. Yeah, whole bunch of people. I don't really care about unemployment, though. Because I need to stabilize this food situation, or nothing else really matters. So, cabbage. People actually still coming in? Okay. Got a good amount. Let's boost that up to appetizing then, and we're just going to keep importing cabbage for the time being, so I'm absolutely sure that's under wraps. Meanwhile, we're going to keep doing all of this. You're building ceramics. Where are we at on those? 5. Okay, we're about to have enough to do an homage offering. We now need to boost our income. Gotta be careful I don't overspend here. Because we're gonna have more imports coming. Let's see. Most of that's been imported. This has pretty much been imported. Okay, we're not gonna be able to import a lot more this year. So I'm gonna be a little bit safe here. I'm gonna put up the bronze smelter. Another clay here. I'm gonna go with a bronzeware maker there. Let's see what that takes us down to. Okay, a little bit lower. Yeah, I want to hold there, but did we make our weapons production goal? We did not. Which means I don't want to put more than the one bronzeware maker up, because I want to keep this weapon, these going, as much as I can until we hit that 10 goal. And We just got the warning to do homage. Well, we will do homage. We will give them our ceramics. Okay. So now we want to gradually boost our population where we can, and also increase our income, obviously, to allow us to make some reasonable investments. And later on in this mission, if you're delayed, like we have been here, you can really get some rather unrealistic demands from people. Silk that we can't even produce. How can demand weapons and bronze, and so if we get into that, we'll need to start stockpiling those. But for now, I want to sell as much as I can so that we can invest and build and maybe even finish the mission before that becomes an issue. Still lots of food. Hemp is not much, so that's going to be a concern. But we're almost to harvesting time, so if we run out of hemp, it won't be for long. So I think we might have gotten this back up just in time to avoid catastrophe. And our very nice allies in Hao really took the brunt of that. They lost almost their entire force. Oh, okay. Let's go. You're going to be a jerk. We're going to take care of you. Keep going. Alright. We have lots of people, but not quite enough money is my present concern. And food is low there. Hemp is out. Yeah, we're not doing anything yet. Hemp is coming. I just need to make sure that we're stable and I don't jump the gun and get myself into even more trouble. 15% unemployment is high, but it's not horrible. And there comes our hemp buyer.
Those folks at the hemp farm are a bit odd, but if they keep me well supplied, how can I complain?
I think my next goal, other than, boosting this up when I need to, is going to be salt. But first things first. There's some more hemp. And you only have 2 varieties of food here. I'm going to allow you to go back down to playing, so that you will keep yourself supplied. Well, hold on. Here comes millet. Let me reverse that decision. A lot more millet coming. We'll get to buy some more in the new year. I don't feel comfortable going away from cabbage yet, so I'm going to keep purchasing this, at least for another year. And our hemp situation is very steady. We're getting more ceramics in. Okay, now I think we can work on expanding more. We don't have anywhere to sell our bronzeware to. That's probably my current issue, I don't think. They will sell it to us. Yeah. Khufu, good candidate. We can sell them bronzeware and salt. They will sell us jade, which is really the kicker, because I want to get into the jade market eventually. So they're going to be my buyer. If everybody would get out of the way, that would be fantastic. Okay. Any bronzeware we have, sell it to them. Sell salt while you're at it. I'm not going to buy jade just yet. And if we get salt, you can sell it there as well. I suppose I could have bought jade here also, so whichever. But we still needed a bronzeware option. Let's see if we got where we wanted to be on our weapons. We did. Okay. So now, because of that, I can afford to put up another bronzeware. These two will not fully supply 4 production buildings, but they have more than enough for 3. So the idea is that if I get a 4th one, then I'm going to really be utilizing my full supply of bronze, but also utilizing my full supply of clay from over here. And of course, I'd prefer to have more bronzeware over here, but I don't think there's a good feng shui spot over there, so we'll suffer it. So then, we're going to be buying a bunch more food here. I'm going to hold off cash-wise for a bit before I go in onto the salt. And you are... Yeah, we're going to need some of that to come in, too, because we only have 2 types of food currently available. So we're just not ready to take the next step yet. Okay, I'm feeling a little better now that they came in and bought those weapons. We've got some bronzeware here. We'll sell that. Let's go take care of a salt industry. Up this direction. And we can see there's a bear there waiting for us. I could just stick with 1. I'm going to splurge and do 2. And then we will throw up an inspector. I'm definitely going to want a watchtower over here too, I think. And we'll block it off. There we go. And now, in a little while, we will have salt to go with all of this fun. Egad, 75? I didn't realize I'd gotten down that low. Okay. Well, for now, you stop buying, I guess. I overspent there. So we're going to stop buying until we get back up to a more positive number. Well, there's some more bronzeware. That makes me feel better. I would have been totally fine if I'd waited a little bit longer. And I think we also need to do one more offering here. Yes. And that should really hold for a while, I hope. So we are... Oh. We are at our limit. Alright, I'm going to turn off one of my salt mines and get a music school to take our next step upwards. And you know what? Let's just go all the way, which is going to mean a ceramic shop also. We have tons and tons of food. I think we can now... If we need to up it again another time, we will, but we're going to stop buying cabbage. We'll just keep bringing in the wheat. Here comes our herald, and we're going to start scaling up then our population once more. think that one just turned into, yes it did, Elegant Dwelling, which is our peak for this map. Streaming in. So we're now basically in the endgame phase of this Yulin scenario. And I would still like to get involved in Jade, just to boost our profitability, but we're kind of otherwise occupied now. Okay, now we're getting some people. Reactivate that salt mine. Okay, that's some good sales in. Now we're gonna buy 4 at a time of the jade. Keep our people busy if we can. A couple of studios there. And then, of course, we gotta sell it to somebody. Who wants to buy our jade? Anyang, you're willing? Nobody else is willing. Okay. Anyang it is. Let's... You know what? I meant to have a roadblock here. I don't think I ever did. I'm amazed none of these have actually burned down. So, yeah. You come here. And then... Anyang will be our final trade partner, just coming up here because, well, the rocks are a nice place to be for trade. Looks like you might want to be just a little bit over here. Sell the jade. And I think that's it. I'll just leave that bear be, I guess. If it decides to come back any closer, we'll handle it. Salt is coming in here. So we have a very wide variety. And, oh, there isn't any room for the salt. So we're going to go sell it. We're at that point now. And we just need the jade to be brought over here to be worked on. Got, we're helping this one, but the other one is just inactive for the moment. $1,600 people. We have enough in Elegant Dwellings. We just need that total population and we're done. But the unemployment is our main concern, so I'm going to do a couple things. One is I'm going to drop down our just one level to low and see if we can sustain that. And then I'm also going to set up basically some fake industries that I don't really care about if we get our cash up a little higher. Huang Di is still happy with us. No, we do not. We feel like we're almost done. Just need a couple hundred more people. Alright, I think we have enough now. We're just going to throw up some bronze here. Not that I actually need more, but this is a good location for bronze here. I just want to throw workers into this scenario. And you can be there. Just block this off here. There we go. Yay, more employment. Unemployment number's healthy. At least for the moment. So that's pretty blatant economic manipulation, but they are going to be producing some stuff for me. It's not like I'm putting a logging shed out in the middle of a desert or something. Okay. How are you doing? Got lots of food. You got more food in the mill. I see no problems at the moment, and we're 100 people away. Come on, everybody, get in here. And if we look at our total number, yeah, we could reach up to almost 2,200 with the amount we have set up. All of our housing looked like it's working well, so I think that the changes I made to the housing block were effective. Probably go with a similar approach going forward. Don't reinvent the wheel once you've found a shape for it that works. Some more purchases, dropping our cash down, so we'll just stand pat. 2,000, it looks like we're about to see victory. And we have moved up on the jade here. We just would need a merchant to come up there and grab it for us. There we go.
A most commendable job. The desert outpost of Yulin keeps its vigilant eyes trained on the northern wastes, warning of any advances by the Xiongnu.
Alright, so just a few years in this scenario, and the next one is going to be the middle one, 4th out of 7 in the Shou dynasty, and we'll see some of the transition between the Western Shou and the Eastern Shou era. We'll be back with that soon. Thanks for watching.